show a bit of what it's like in the interaction with these horses, that there shouldn't be stress. There shouldn't be a feeling of your horse might run you over if, fill in the blank for whatever that if might be. I can't tell you how many people wind up writing to me, calling for help, talking about like all of this extra effort that they put into, like they have to throw hay and then get out of the way so that the horse will comply, or they have to hurry up and run and swing open a gate and then dive on the other side of the fence, I'm not kidding, so that the horse won't run them over. Or they can only call the horse back into the pasture or from the pasture or catch him or whatever at a certain time. Or they can only catch one horse in order for another horse to be able to comply and acknowledge them or whatever, follow, come in, so on. And I think one of the biggest problems with the way people are taught to interact with horses is it's all about the mechanics often. Like, okay, we have to get the halter on the horse, and so we must get the horse near us in any shape or form, whether it's through bribery or fear or him having to choose a lesser of two evils, if you will. And then once we have him caught, everything will magically be fine. And instead, I wish people understood that the quality of the interaction at any and all times is reflected in the horse's physical responses. So if we're not liking how the horse is physically responding to us, whether it's facially, whether it's when we're close, then we need to slow down and start to learn equine behavior and how they communicate, because once we understand how they communicate, we're going to start to recognize that the horse is always telling us what's coming. He's always telling us what he's about to do. And if we start to become available and present to consider his communication and address it in a way that has value to him, the way in which we choose to communicate changes, because we're actually communicating in a manner that is relevant to whatever he's currently experiencing. And if we learn to do that, it no longer feels like we're guessing or we're being hopeful or otherwise. Bear with me, I'm opening up a gate here. There's the jumping arena that's overgrown, so I'll call the boys in. I guess I'll leave this on here for a second. We'll see if this can keep filming. Come on, boys! So, one of the things that I find is that people don't realize what is possible. Like when I talk about calling the horse's thought, like literally creating some pressure through whether it's vocal pressure, tapping your leg, calling their name, clapping your hands, whatever it is, and that you can actually call their thought. And that once they learn to bring their mind with you, and then you add a little more energy, they can bring their body with you. And that things shouldn't feel like it's pleading, it's begging, it's being hopeful, you're constantly having to chase the horse or trying to contain the horse. Just so you get a perspective, this was the field and all the options for grazing that they had. So when I go to call them, you know, it's specific to help me be lawn mowers, if you will, in the jumping arena before I come in and mow it down in a bit. But it's also an opportunity for adaptability and changing in the interaction and changing in the patterns. So many people like catch the horse in the same place, turn them out in the same place. Understand many places have limited space and options, but if you have the choice, the more you can change things up, the more mentally participative the horse learns to always be, irrelevant of if it's grazing time or at any other point. So just an insight into a day in the life.